The Special Air Service. Among some of the most elite, secretive, and deadly special operations forces the international community has ever seen. Let's take a dive into what there is to know about one of the British Army's Special Forces units that operate in the shadows. The Special Air Service is a British Special Operations unit under the operational control of the United Kingdom Special Forces, referred to in short as UKSF. This unit goes by several names, and while we will be referring to it as the Special Air Service throughout this video, it is also called the SAS, the Regiment, the Boys at Hereford, or Task Force Black within Task Force 88. This is a unit with a few names, but many capabilities. The British government's Ministry of Defence tightly controls information about the unit, refusing to comment publicly on the highly secretive unit and its activities. These blades, another name for operators, operate under the veil of secrecy, hidden from the enemy, with the British government often using a well-rehearsed line. This line being, those units of the armed forces of the Crown and the maintenance of whose capabilities is the responsibility of the Director of Special Forces, or which are for the time being subject to the operational command of that director. The Special Air Service is tasked with performing complex, classified, and dangerous missions ranging from counterterrorism, hostage rescue, direct action, and covert reconnaissance. The unit remains extremely flexible though, and is not limited based on those primary missions. So you know the purpose of the Special Air Service, or at least what the British government wants you to know about them. But just how capable is the Special Air Service exactly? Once you find out what makes up the unit, it will all make sense, since the Special Air Service is one of the primary components of the UK Special Forces. This means that it is comprised of some of the most elite in the Special Operation Forces community, or SOF for short. The Special Air Service routinely pulls personnel from mainly the Parachute Regiment and the Royal Marines, but it also pulls personnel from every service branch of the armed forces. And the Special Air Service doesn't just take any Maroon Beret or Bootneck. They take seasoned, mentally strong, and dedicated SOF personnel to fill the role as an SAS operator. We'll get to the selection process later in the video, but take a second to realize what kind of guys that Special Air Service operators are. They're experienced SOF personnel with multiple deployments, possessing a wide variety of skills needed to be the winged dagger. Now, what missions have the Special Air Service operated in? While we've established that most of what they've been involved with is classified, some information has made it to the public. To give you an idea of how sexy the Special Air Service is, let's go over some of the work they've done. Operation Nimrod. The Iranian embassy siege. The breaking of a terrorist siege in the heart of London in 1980 catapulted the normally secretive SAS onto the world stage. The audacious daylight assault, carried out in the full glare of media scrutiny, made the regiment and its motto, "Who dares wins," an indelible part of UK culture. The techniques used in the operation were quickly studied and copied by other special forces and counterterrorism units around the world. One team would enter down a stairway from the roof, lowering a large explosive device down through the skylight to cover their entry and cause maximum confusion. Another team would blow in the first floor windows at the front of the embassy and enter via balcony. A further team would sneak into the embassy's rear garden and blow the patio doors open, then clear the ground floor and hold the main staircase. Part of this team would act as a reserve force and hostage reception team. Teams on the roof would abseil down to the second and first floor rear balconies and smash their way in. Another team would enter the ground floor via the rear doors and clear the basement rooms, with all hostages and terrorists accounted for. The police retook control of the area and the SAS withdraw from public view. Their once low profile, however, had been changed forever, and the SAS was now a household word. The 6-day siege had been busted in under 11 minutes, not for the last time. However, controversy raged over the SAS's methods, particularly when dealing with unarmed terrorists. One thing, however, was clear. Britain had drawn a line in the sand with regards to international terrorism. Terrorists now knew that if they undertook an operation against British interests, that the United Kingdom would respond with deadly efficiency. Now that you have an idea of what the Special Air Service has done throughout its history, let's move on to its structure, and then its selection process. Because once you find out what one has to go through to become a Special Air Service operator, it will drive home exactly why this unit is extremely capable and deadly. To give a brief overview of the reported structure of the Special Air Service, I will depict it with some boxes like a tree. Little publicly verifiable information exists on the contemporary SAS, as the British government usually does not comment on Special Forces matters due to the nature of their work. The Special Air Service is divided into 1 regular regiment and 2 reserve regiments, these being the 22nd Special Air Service Regiment, the 21st Special Air Service Regiment, and the 23rd Special Air Service Regiment, the 22nd SAS being the regular unit, and the 21st and 23rd SAS being the reserve units. The regiments are commanded by lieutenant colonels. The regiments divide into squadrons, with the 22nd SAS dividing into 4 Sabre squadrons, being 8B, D and G squadrons. The 21st SAS is divided into a squadron, C squadron, and E squadron, whilst the 23rd SAS is divided into B squadron, D squadron, and G squadron. Each squadron is commanded by a major. Across the 22nd, 21st, and 23rd SAS regiments, each squadron is further divided into 4 particular troops. These troops being an air troop, a boat troop, a mountain troop, and a mobility troop. These troops are commanded by lieutenants. The enlisted personnel take leadership roles within the troops. Now that you know the basic structure of the Special Air Service, let's get into the selection process. The Special Air Service's selection process is a test of grit, mental tenacity, and outright determination. Armed Forces personnel who has already undergone their own respective selection processes to get into the Armed Forces community are all rounded up and given an even tougher endeavor to endure. Many try to get into the Special Air Service. Most of them fail. Out of an average intake of 125 candidates, the grueling selection process will weed out all but 10. There is now a joint selection process, UKSF selection. For both the SAS and SBS, UKSF selection is broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1, endurance, fitness, and navigation. Phase 2, jungle training. And Phase 3, escape and evasion and tactical questioning. The small number of men who make it through selection receive the coveted beige beret with the distinctive winged dagger insignia. As a newly badged member of the Special Air Service, they can feel justly proud. They are not out of the woods. However, as they are now effectively on probation, as brand new members of the regiment, they will be watched closely by the DS, or directing staff, as they enter continuation training. Many SAS soldiers are RTU'd, meaning return to unit, during training. If you'd like me to go more in depth on the UKSF selection process, let me know in the comments section below. Well, that is the down and dirty of the elite counterterrorism unit, the Special Air Service. If you learned something from this video, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And forever, thank you for watching.